Hello everyone, welcome back. Today's lesson, lesson 2.2, will be about solving proportion equations. Recall in the previous lesson, we talked about proportions and how to cross multiply to show that proportions are true or false. Today we're actually going to be looking at an equation that has an unknown in it, a variable, and we're going to be looking at how to solve that. So let's go ahead and get started. First, it's important to know why we solve proportion equations. You can use proportion equations to solve word problems or to solve for a missing part of similar figures. We have a word problem given to us. It says the ratio of apples to oranges in a basket is 4 to 5. There are 20 oranges in the basket. How many apples are there? We can use this information to set up a proportional equation. First, we know the ratio of apples to oranges is 4 to 5. So we will put 4 apples on top and 5 oranges on bottom. It is very important to understand that the way we set up our ratio is apples to oranges, apples being the number on top and oranges being the number on bottom. Therefore, when we look at our second fraction, we need to put the 20 oranges on the bottom due to the fact that in the first fraction, oranges are on the bottom. Therefore, the number of apples, which is what we're looking for, we will call that variable n, will go on the top of the second fraction. So we have the equation 4 over 5 equals n over 20. Now we will cross multiply. Remember, we do the top of the first fraction times the bottom of the second fraction, so 4 times 20. Then we do the bottom of the first fraction times the top of the second fraction, 5 times n. The sheet kind of skips a few steps here, so I'm going to go off to the side and say that 4 times 20 is 80, and then 5 times n is 5n. The next step in solving this equation will be to divide both sides by 5 to get n by itself. We are able to cancel the two 5's on the right-hand side, leaving us with just n, which brings us to the next step. 80 over 5 equals n. The final step is to divide 80 by 5, which gives you 16. So therefore n, the number of apples, is 16. So if there are 20 oranges, as stated in the problem, there should be 16 apples. Notice to the right there are some more examples. These are just representing where n could be in different positions in the equation. Let's look down to the examples you are going to complete about this material. You have questions 1, 2, and 3, parts A, B, and C. You are going to solve these equations by cross multiplying as we did above. Remember from the previous lesson, some of these will not be set up as a fraction equals a fraction, so you will have to turn it into a fraction equals a fraction. Once you have done that, you will be able to just simply cross multiply and solve. Let's look down at the final section. For this section, it says to write a proportion for each problem, then solve the problem. You have two word problems. For the first one on number 4, it says Emilio wants to make a pumpkin pie for each of his 5 cousins. One pie requires 15 ounces of pumpkin filling. How many ounces of filling must Emilio buy? What you are going to do is you're going to take this information, set up a proportion equation, make it a fraction equals a fraction, make sure the top numbers are corresponding, representing the same pieces of information, and then the bottom numbers represent the same pieces of information. Once you have set it up, you will cross multiply and solve, and this will help you determine how many ounces of filling Emilio must buy. Number 5 is very similar, but a different scenario. This one says Julia owns a home worth $100,000. She must pay $5 in property tax for every $1,000 of her home's value. How much property tax will Julia pay? Just like I said on the last one, you will set up a proportional equation, a fraction equals a fraction. Make sure the tops represent the same types of pieces of information and the bottoms represent the same types of pieces of information. Once you have it set up, you will cross multiply and solve, and this will help you to determine how much property tax Julia will have to pay. Thanks for watching this video and completing the homework assignment. Remember, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask, and I will do my absolute best to help you.